Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Riverine Podcast. My name is AMREN and I will be your host for today. Today's topic will be about bullying and doxing. But before we start, we have two special guests that will be joining us today. Let's welcome WIDAD and Hueru. So, how are you guys doing today?
I'm feeling good.
How about you, WIDAD?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Thank you for having us today, Amrin.
I feel honored for being invited here today.
So, let's talk about bullying first. Alright? I've heard that you guys have experience with bullying, yes?
Yes,
Yes,
sadly.
sadly.
Were you the one that was bullied or the bully?
It is quite obvious that we are not the bullies.
Yes, sadly, we are both the ones getting bullied.
Oh, I see. I would like to ask the both of you, what are your opinions on today's topic?
For me, well, bullying is something that has wounded me for quite some time. I experienced it a lot during my primary school days. It affected me both physically and mentally. Plus, it took a while for me to heal from the experience, which was quite traumatic. Well, no one would ever want to go through that.
Whereas for me, I think that bullying is a repeated pattern of aggressive behavior intended to cause hurt, and often we leave a scar that one might not be able to see. Just like with that, I've also experienced bullying growing up. I feel bad for those that have experience with bullying. It is definitely one of the worst things to ever happen to someone.
I feel bad for the both of you. Thank you for speaking out. I'm sure many of the viewers out there relate to you guys. According to my research from the internet, about 20% of students ages 12 to 18 experience bullying nationwide.
That is quite serious.
Oh my, that's awful.
To simply define it, bullying is a repeated and deliberate aggressive behavior, often involving an imbalance of power that is intended to harm, intimidate, or control another person emotionally, physically, or socially. It can take various forms, including verbal, physical, and relational.
Do you mind elaborating more on the various forms of bullying? We would like to know more about it.
Sure. Firstly, is verbal bullying. This involves using words to hurt or humiliate someone, such as name calling, teasing, insults, or spreading rumors. Other than that, we also have physical bullying. Physical bullying involves the use of force to harm someone physically, like hitting, kicking, pushing, or damaging their belongings.
Not to forget, there is also relational bullying, which is also known as social or emotional bullying. This form involves manipulating relationships to harm the victim, such as spreading rumors, gossip, excluding them from social activities, or ruining their reputation.
I also happen to hear that cyberbullying is also a type of bullying. In this digital age, bullying can occur online. Cyberbullying includes sending hurtful messages, spreading false information through social media, or any form of harassment using digital platforms.
What sets bullying apart from ordinary conflicts or disagreement is the repetitive or intentional nature of the behavior. It often occurs over an extended period, with the bully targeting the same victim repeatedly. Additionally, there's usually an imbalance of power, where the bully may be physically stronger or have social influence over the victim.
Wow, that is a lot of research. I also heard that among students ages 12 to 18, who reported being bullied at school. During the school year, 15% of them were bullied online or by text. So the chances of students being bullied online is super high now. That's why we have to watch out about what we post online.
Yes, apart from that, I remember reading an article from the National Center for Educational Statistics, dated back in 2019, that one out of every five, which is 20.2% of students being bullied. 41% of students who reported being bullied at school indicated that they think that the bullying would happen again. This is just terrible.
I believe that there are a lot of side effects found from bullying, right? As in, how will it affect the victim?
There are surely loads of side effects. People who experience bullying are most likely to have depression and anxiety, increased feeling of sadness and loneliness, changes in sleep and eating patterns, and loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy. These issues may persist into adulthood.
I see. No wonder I constantly face sudden waves of sadness, even to this day. Maybe it's the effects of my past traumas that I faced. Wow, I didn't realize it would be this bad.
I feel you. I remember I had trouble sleeping as well during the period of time that I was bullied. It was so painful, as I had school the next day, and I needed to get up, get enough sleep, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I've researched very thoroughly about this. Studies show that the physical health consequences of bullying can be immediate, such as physical injury, or they can involve long-term effects, such as headaches, disturbance, or somatization.
Physical injuries wise, I still have the scar that was left by my bully on my right cheek. It triggers back all the memories whenever I look at it. It fears me till this day.
Oh my god, you must have been so scared back then. Are you doing fine right now?
Well, no, I cover the scar with makeup every day because I really hate it.
Ah, I see.
Okay, now I would like to ask if the both of you are comfortable sharing your experience to our viewers here.
Well, I can start first. I distinctly remember it happened when I was still studying in primary school. I have this white birthmark on my neck, and the kids at school, they used to tease me for it. They would laugh at it behind my back, and I felt hurt. I didn't bother much about my birthmark before, but now that they have started teasing, I became very subconscious of it. I would use my hair or a scarf to cover it when going out. I also didn't tell anyone, as I was scared the bullies would pick on me more.
Oh, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Now, how about you with that? Are you comfortable sharing your story?
Well, my experience is quite awful. It was back in primary school when it happened. I went to the toilet and suddenly these girls they approached me and kept asking me if I was a real Muslim or not because I didn't wear a hijab during that time. They're Muslims too, by the way. So I just responded calmly and didn't really care about what they said at first. However, they started to get aggressive. They grabbed my hair, pulled on it, and mocked me. They then pushed me to the ground, and my head hit the toilet wall.
Oh, that is certainly awful with that. As for me, I've quite the experience myself. It happened way back during my kindergarten years. I barely remember the situation because I was just a 5 years old kid at that time. I was minding my own business, drawing and coloring my sketches. Out of the blue, there was this one kid who grabbed me by my back, picked up one of my colorless pencils, and then tried to stab me in my right eye. I don't know what his problem was, but luckily, I was able to close my eyelid on time. There's no serious or permanent injury. However, the incident left a scar in my poor heart.
Oh, yes, I relate to you, Amren.
I think what makes bullies the way they are is they might have low esteem and they want to feel better about themselves. People who want to be in control or have power are more prone to bullying. This may be because they do not feel any power in their own life, which makes obtaining it in social interactions more appealing.
I also think that bullying might be a manifestation of social status. People who are popular often make fun of others who are less popular by perpetuating relational aggression. Popularity also can lead people to spread rumors and gossip about others.
In my point of view, one's family environment plays a major factor in influencing their behavior when interacting with their peers at school. Parents have to set a good example for their children so they will follow them. For example, if a mother body shames someone in public frequently in front of her child would most likely follow what his or her mother does. If their family environment is full of toxicity, there is no wonder they act that way and bully someone.
Yes, I agree with you with that.
However, sometimes a person bullies because they are being bullied themselves. Because of their bottled up feelings, the pressure and stress they had to endure, they lash it out on other people. It is sad, but bullying is still wrong. Instead of taking out on others, I think it's best to find someone to talk to and find a different solution to solve the problem more efficiently. Bullying someone physically or mentally is definitely not the right way.
That's right. I hope the viewers can take note regarding this matter.
I hope so too. This issue must not be taken lightly. The Centers for Disease Control, otherwise known as CDC, states that students that are bullied are around 2 to 9 times more likely to consider suicide than non victims. A study in Britain also found that at least half of suicides among young people are related to bullying. 10 to 14-year-old teen girls are most likely to commit suicide based on this study as well. According to ABC News, nearly 30% of students are either victims of bullies or bullies themselves. And 160,000 kids stay home from school every day because they are scared of being bullied.
Oh dear, that sounds terrible.
I have a friend that is very close to me. I will not be disclosing his name, but he was severely bullied during primary school. He was teased, people were mocking him for everything he did. When the teacher assigned him to sit next to me, I noticed several cuts on his wrist. The first time I confronted him, he just brushed it off by saying his cat scratches him while they were playing. As days passed, the more uneasy I felt. I decided to tell the counseling teacher, and when they confronted him, he finally revealed that it was an act of self-harm. He's doing much better now, and I still keep in touch with him till this day.
That sounds awful. I hope he's doing okay now.
Yes, me too.
People should be aware of this issue, especially about the ways to prevent it. Bullying can certainly be prevented if parents educate their children about bullying. Once they know what bullying is, your children will be able to identify it more easily, whether it is happening to them or someone else.
Parents should also be a role model for their children. Show your child how to treat other children and adults with kindness and respect by doing the same to the people around you, including speaking up when others are being mistreated. Children look to their parents as examples of how to behave, including what to post online.
Other than that, teachers also play a vital role. They should talk openly and frequently to their students regarding this matter and open counseling sessions to help them find solutions. The more you talk to them about bullying, the more comfortable they will be telling you if they see or experience it. Check in with them daily and ask about their time at schools and their activities online. inquiring not only about their classes and activities, but also about their feelings.
There are some signs to spot if you want to know if someone is being bullied. Firstly, the obvious one is unexplainable injuries. Pay more attention to those that are around you. They might be suffering in silence. If you happen to notice that they have an extra cut on their hand, be a good friend and remember to check on them.
That's true. Another sign is changes in eating habits, either skipping meals or binge eating. Both of those are major signs that someone could be in a bad situation. This can result in them having illnesses such as anorexia or bulimia. That's why we have to carefully observe the people around us, especially our friends and family, so that we can prevent them from getting worse in terms of mental and physical well being.
I agree. Parents should also look out for their children and observe their behavior. For example, they should see if their children have difficulty sleeping or if they have frequent nightmares because that's one of the signs of bullying.
Yes, I agree. And one time I noticed that my little brother was acting quite weird. He didn't have any appetite, he talked in his sleep, and didn't talk much either. After some time, I finally picked up the courage and asked him if he had any problems, and it turns out he was being bullied at school. He was isolated by his classmates, and I was so heartbroken seeing my little brother in that state. He looked awfully depressed and didn't want to go to school.
Oh my, what happened next? Did you meet the bully?
Well, yes, I met up with his mother and talked about the matter in a peaceful manner. Thankfully, we settled it without any arguments.
That's a relief.
Hmm. So, I think we can move on to the next topic, which is doxing. Have you guys ever heard of doxing?
Well, yes. Based on my understanding, doxing, which is also short for document tracing or dropping documents, is the act of collecting and publicly exposing someone's personal details, such as their address, job, or any other information without the person's consent.
Oh, yes, I've heard about doxing before.
Yes, it's a very serious matter. According to a 2022 research report, over 40 million people around the world have personally experienced doxing, while 52% of doxing victims reported that the attack stemmed from online disputes with strangers. 25% of threat actors personally knew their victims.
Oh my, that's not good to hear.
Oh, now that I think about it, my close friend has experienced doxing before.
Really? Would you mind sharing?
Sure, it happened in high school. While we were studying in the library, my friend received a notification from Twitter that her account was hacked. Turns out her best friend shared her password to the whole class, and they all posted ridiculous comments and things using her account. Luckily, she acted quickly and contacted the customer service number. She succeeded in getting her account back, but she didn't report her classmates to the authorities or the police as she felt like she didn't have any power to do so. So she just brushed it off just like that.
Oh dear, if I were her, I wouldn't let them off so easily. How could they do that to someone?
And to their own friend too. Hey, we really get that. We really can't trust anyone these days.
Exactly. We have to be super cautious about what we share to people.
True, information like passwords should be kept confidential.
Not only passwords, Sueru. Someone could obtain our personal information with only our phone number nowadays.
Oh my, that's scary.
To everyone watching, I hope you all keep your personal information safe and sound.
I'm quite curious actually. How and why does doxing happen? Is it because of jealousy?
That could be one of the reasons. Some do it because they are angry at someone, or because they don't like what someone has said, or even to show that someone is hiding something. The information that is shared can vary. Some of it might just be an innocent data, but other info can be harmful or dangerous.
That's dangerous. I would never want to experience such a horrible thing.
The impact of doxing is also troublesome. Doxing can affect someone in a wide variety of ways. It can affect someone's mental health, professional life, and in some extreme cases, their physical health too. Living with a threat of being doxed or actually getting doxed can cause feelings of overwhelming anxiety, which can impact their mental health greatly.
That's true. Studies show that doxing attacks impacted personal lives 80% of the time, specifically involving online harassment, public shaming, lost friendships, family harassment, and online distribution of photos.
When someone's information is shared online, it can often feel to the victim like the entire world has access to the most private details of their personal life. In a result, the victim would most likely gain anxiety or depression because of the trauma they faced due to doxing.
Yes, the anxiety levels normally remain for the duration that the content is being displayed online, or for as long as the victim is still receiving harassment and abuse in relation to that particular unauthorized disclosure. These cases of long-term anxiety and distress can aggravate mental health problems and potentially even lead to mental illnesses such as depression and self-harm, like we just explained earlier.
Oh, now that I think about it, if the victim's home address has been shared, the victim may become worried about leaving or going outside, leading to even further problems such as employment or education problems.
Oh, that's right. The victims would have a hard time focusing on their school, especially regarding their academics. Gosh, that sounds draining.
I agree. Oh, did you guys know? Well, based on my research, traditionally, doxing started with an online argument before escalating to one person digging up information about an adversary. More recently, doxing has become a popular tool in the culture wars, with activists doxing those with opposing viewpoints. Many politicians, celebrities, and journalists have been doxed, causing them to suffer from online mobs and even death threats.
Hmm. Amrin, do you have any other stories related to doxing?
Hmm. Well, this isn't my experience. It's my neighbor's story. Someone pretended to be her on social media, used her photos that she posted only on Facebook, and even attempted to hack into her WhatsApp. She's someone who rarely posts herself and information online. However, she still got doxxed.
That's horrible. Did she find out who did it?
No, sadly. She filed a police report though. The police only managed to close down the account.
Oh, that's unfair. She must have been so scared.
Yes, she was terrified that someone was pretending to be her on another website. She doesn't use any social media now because of that traumatic experience.
Oh dear, I hope she's feeling better now.
Me too. But there must be ways to prevent doxing, right?
Well, yes, there is. Firstly, we must keep our personal information private. This includes your full name, address, phone number, and email address. We should also be cautious about sharing these information online. This is why I recommend using aliases or nicknames while setting up your online profile. Other than that, we also oath to use strong and unique passwords for each of our online accounts.
I agree. We can create strong passwords through a buildable password manager to generate and store your password securely. Furthermore, one should enable two-factor authentication (2FA) on all online accounts wherever possible. By doing this, your account has an extra layer of security.
The both of you are right. We should also secure our Wi Fi network. This protects our home Wi Fi network with a strong password to prevent unauthorized access. Using VPNs, which are virtual private networks, helps as well. It helps mask our IP address and location when browsing the internet.
Not only that, we should also educate ourselves and our family about the risks of doxing and how to protect personal information online. In this way, everyone will be safe.
Yes, very well said. We should also look out for signs of doxing as well, right?
Yes, prevention is better than cure. However, how can we detect the signs of doxing or being targeted for doxing?
Well, if one starts receiving threats or harassing messages that include personal information about them, it's a clear sign that someone may be attempting to dox you. And also, if you find your personal information, such as your home address, phone number, or any sort of personal information being posted online without your consent, well, it is a direct sign of doxing.
Apart from those, if you happen to discover fake social media profiles or accounts created in your name, which may be used to spread false information or harass others, is another sign of doxing.
I know another one. We should also pay attention to our privacy settings, changes from time to time as well. If you notice that your social media or online account privacy settings have been altered or changed without your knowledge, this may be a sign that someone is attempting to gain access to your personal information.
Indeed, Huiru. There are times as well where doxers may openly threaten to expose your personal information, either directly or indirectly, as a means of intimidation. Everyone should be aware while using social media.
If you suspect you are a victim of doxing or are at risk of being doxed, do take immediate action to protect your online privacy and security. It is essential for us to remain vigilant and respond promptly to signs of doxing to minimize potential harm.
I agree.
Yes, I do agree too.
Alright, I think we have reached the end of our podcast. Do any of you have any final words to the viewer?
Remember that you are not alone and you can always seek help from others if you are in need of assistance.
For me, don't be afraid to speak out and speak for yourself. Be confident in who you are and stay safe online.
Okay, thank you once again, Widad and Hueru, for using your time coming to our podcast for today. This is the end of our episode on the Ruburan podcast. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.